2 years ago, I had a friend, and he's also working with indoor. I don't know how you say it, rowing. I think rowing,
Oh,
indoor
rowing,
rowing.
yeah.
Yeah, and yeah, he worked with one guy, also a good friend from me. He worked with him, and at 2 years ago, there was a world champion in indoor rowing, and they was working with yeah, with, it was not also only inside, it was more the vision from Jan Ulbrecht.
Okay.
He's also a professor,
Mm-hmm.
and I'm working with the vision from Jan Ulbrecht with my trainer,
Mm.
and also inside is the mixing about Jan Ulbrecht uh, and himself and my trainer, and he explained me everything about like VO2Max.
Mm-hmm.
I was also before thinking, oh no, I need to have 5, 10 races to have my best shape. And then he explained me why you don't need to be have it. You don't need to be have races before. And then I was thinking maybe what he say it's not wrong. It's completely sometimes what I feel in the race. Like I cannot. I feel that I can go faster, but it's not possible. It stops. And there is a good friend from me. It's Hendrik Plevoets. He's trainer now, and he trained the indoor world champion rowing.
Mm-hmm.
And he explained me that, and he say you don't need to train always hard, and sometimes when you train slowly and you train really hard, it's sometimes better than always training around sweet spot and power like that. You need to be also doing that, but you need to you need to look also to your not your VO2Max, but also looking to your VLA-max. And like a type of rider like me, it need to be not super high, but it need to be high.
Mm-hmm.
And when you train too much around your speed spot, then it go really, yeah, fastly down.
Mm-hmm.
And for a rider like me, when it's down, then maybe you are fast in or you are good in time trials or on long climbs, but you are not so strong in, yeah, in 2 minutes, 3 minutes, 1 minute, and then I was thinking maybe I need to change me a little bit, and working on inside protocol and stuff like that. And then now from 3 4 weeks ago, I'm working with a trainer from that, and I feel I also seeing my blood results. It's already much better than 2 months ago, and I think it's for me, it's this part of training, I think it's really good for me. And yeah, we will see in the next months and years if
Mm-hmm.
it works or not. But I think I think a lot of riders already work with that, and also not also good riders, big boys. Dus I think it will be work, not only with that guys, but hopefully also with me, that it will be work.
I bet it will. I think it's turning the dials, kind of like we said before. You don't need a ton of super high VLA max, but you need some punch. And it's like
Yeah,
really finding that mix. Whereas opposed to, I think, like, well, I'm gonna increase my FTP and my sprint and my VO2 max, and it just doesn't work that way. And so here in the US, I'm sure everywhere, like a lot of amateurs, they just train too hard. And what I kind of consider like working out, they go on the group ride before work, hammer, 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 hammer. If I don't hammer hard, I'm not gonna be able to hammer hard in the race. It's like, no, dude, you're actually ruining you're lowering your FTP. You're getting really good at only like 30-second efforts, but you're not a sprinter. That's not how you're going to win the race. Like, you need to think of how this training session applies to your own event. And so I think it's really good that they're putting out a lot of content that amateurs can help to see like what endurance rides will do for them and what the lower intensity stuff does. And it's really finding that balance. It's tough. It's, you know, endurance sports is a tricky puzzle to crack, and there's no one size fits all solutions. Like the athlete really needs to dig in to understand themselves. And so that's cool, man. I bet you're going to have a great year this year for sure. It's what do you think is like a small thing that has had a big impact on your training? Is there any little things that you're doing, maybe off the bike or anything you've changed that you're like, wow, that's really helped me out?
Yeah, I think for me it's I try to do my best on training, and then the other part, I think mentality. You need to be strong, and sometimes I work also on that to try to have a good mentally.
How do
And
you work on that?
yeah, like I do sometimes that I say, oh no, I will be 5 minutes staying on my bed and listen to my body, what he say, and do some works with breathing, and like I have an Airofit.
Oh yeah, that thing's
Yeah,
amazing.
yeah, I it's I've now a new sponsor, and it's Airofit, and yeah, I think some things like that help me also about yeah, it's not something like riding a bike, but it's more some difference, and that stuff. I think something like that helped me yeah, more than yeah, not more. I cannot say more than my training, but
It's a
it gives
supplement.
me maybe the last last 1-2% in my development.
How long have you been using Airofit?
No, I do it 3 months, and
Okay.
this is not that I do it already 4 years. That's I also a little bit looking how I can do it on the best way, and yeah.
Do you think that the place that I noticed that the most was when I was doing like FTP efforts and even VO2 max, like 5 by 5 minutes. I was way more in control of my breathing as opposed to like, you're still like, but I felt like I was breathing deeper and getting more oxygen in. And it just allowed me to really stay calm and just saw more watts on those intervals. Where do you see a benefit in it?
Yeah, I think when you're breathing, it's feel like your inside you can put more
Current.
yeah,
Yeah.
yeah, like you can put it more inside your body, and it feels like you stay more calm, like when you
Mhm.
do, like you how you say like in FTP VO2Max blocks, it's always but
Yeah.
it's much it's feel like it's much normal
Yes.
than normally.
It's the depth, they call it the depth session, where you're working on breath holding, where your chemoreceptors, the things that tell you, oh my God, I need to take a breath, where you're starting to be able to control that. I think that's really what the benefit is of um I love this device. I've been talking about it for like a year, and some people are like, that's stupid. I'm like, well, try it. I mean, it's you can't really knock it until you try it. And people that have gotten onto it are just like, holy cow, this changes things. And so that's cool. I hope that works well for you. So you had talked about obviously the training when you're coming out of the altitude tent. Do you think the hours, were you ever training like too much specifically, um, or like taking any missteps that you've learned from besides that incident?
Yeah, I think maybe I sleep a little bit too high because it was also my first time,
Okay.
and I think I sleep maybe too high, and I train a little bit too much, and
How much
maybe
were you
also
training?
like yeah, I was not saying like I will do in 1 week 10-15 hours, but I still have doing trainings from 20-25 hours a
Okay.
week, and maybe I train also not only too long but maybe also too hard a little bit,
Hmm.
and maybe that that was something like
The
that was not the
combination.
best. The combination about that was not the best way. But yeah, I learned a lot of that, and I think my trainer, no, he helped me a lot with that, and I think the next years I cannot make the mistake again, because I learned so much about that, and yeah,
How often were you resting then? If you're doing these 20 to 25-hour weeks, when would you take a rest week, or would you
yeah,
not?
maybe before I was doing like 3 weeks. I do a block from 3 weeks, then 1 week more easier, and then
Okay.
again 3 weeks like
Yeah.
training. And I think it's more normally a lot of guys, I think, doing something like that.
Yeah.
And yeah, maybe it was better that I stayed the first week. I was starting on my rest week about that. But no, I spoke with my new trainer about that. And in the future, we don't will make the same mistake. I don't will make the same mistake like before.
Mm-hmm.
And from now, I have a new trainer, and I think I can trust him. And he know also a lot about kind of that stuff, and that will be works.
Yeah, that's cool. What do you ever cross train or like lift weights?
Yeah, I do. Like I work with Maarten Thijssen.
Okay.
He's from Leuven, from Gut, and I'm working with him about my squats and my stability, and I think that part is also not the same like training on a bike, but that helps me like in the maximum watts that I can push like in a sprint, and to give my body more stability, to trying to not like to lose weight, like to to dancing on the bike, and
Mm-hmm.
more to stay straight on the bike, and all that small things. I think it will be work. And
How many
yeah.
times a week do you work on that?
No, I'm doing again. I was doing again 2 times a week,
Mm-hmm.
but no, I will. No, I gonna race again, and I think it will be maximum 1 time a week that I have the time to do that,
Mm-hmm.
because it's also when you do squats or something like that, it's also a training for your body and for your legs.
Mm-hmm.
And when you race and when you race, you have not so much time to rest, and then then I need to feel also, I need to have also rest. And it's not, a lot of guys think you need to only train and then that's make you better, but also sometimes when you rest a little bit more, it sometimes it works. And you need to find the good way to train everything, but also to have the rest time.
The recovery time, definitely.
Yeah,
And I think always better to be a little bit less than a little bit too much.
yeah,
You
like
know,
that.
because the
And
thing too, those little bit too much, it might not hurt you in 2 weeks or 3 weeks, but it's like 3 months, 4 months. It's like, oh, I'm tired. And it's just, you've crushed yourself a little bit slowly, but slowly, but slowly. So yeah, I think a little bit less is wiser. Um, Let's talk about nutrition. How do you think about nutrition for cycling? Super open-ended question.
I think it's one of the things that that works really good, because now you see the last years they are working with you see the watts, but it's not only watts that you need to push. On the climb, it's watt slash kilograms, and if you weigh too much, then you lose there, a lot of watt per kilograms, and I think you need to find the good way to have to have not losing your watts, and to have a good weight. Like if you for somebody it's like I have 6% fat, but I can still push my watts. But somebody say, yeah, I feel me better. My blood results are better when I have 7. It's also different to rider, and there you need to find the good way to have everything on the same positioning, to have everything good, and sometimes to do too much there, maybe it's broke your watts. Like I feel also last year I was looking to my weight, what I need to do, and there I also feel if I go too low in my weight, my body had not the same energy like when I was like around 6 or 7%, and there you need to find yeah the good way, and it's for everybody different. Somebody is more around 5, but yeah, I think for a classic rider it's not like you need to go too less, because if you go too less, I think if you go under the 5 like that, I think it's you lose then your maximum power, you lose something in your maximum power. And I think for your testosterone, I think if you go under the 5, it's maybe a little bit
I think you'd be
too
sick if you're
heavy.
under 5. Yeah.
Yeah, it's really low, and yeah, you need to find the good way, and it's I think for everybody is different.
And just by experimenting with your own self.
Yeah, but I feel like if I'm around 6 7, I can have a good feeling on my bike. I lose no watts, and I have now working with the team with Jolien Louis, and yeah, she helped me with that. How I need to find a good way, and I'm working on that. For me, it's also the hardest part of everything, because food, the confrontation is every day. It's yeah, it's like when you are with friends or with family.
And they're not a bike racer.
Yeah, for sure. There's every time you have the conversation, like, yeah, like fast food, but there's also a lot of good food that's not fast food. And I'm learning also with that, and I feel it helps me to look on also on internet, and Jolien helped me also with that, where I can make good recipes to make like some cookies, but healthy cookies,
Yeah.
and not like with a lot of chocolate, or like chocolate, but 100% pure chocolate, and some small things help me, and yeah.
That's what. So, if you're going off body fat percentage, does this woman on your team do caliper testing, like the pinch testing, or do you just use a scale?
uh I do a body scan.
Oh, you do DEXA scan.
Yeah, I do a DEXA scan.
Okay. I wanted to do that. I've only used like the scale before, and I've read on the internet like there's those scales you can stand on, it gives you the percentage. There's like athlete mode or non-athlete mode, and I put in athlete mode and it said I was like 6 point something percent, and I was like, I don't feel like I'm that lean. Like I'm pretty lean, but that seemed like like I've looked at pictures online, like what is 6%? I'm like, I don't know if that's true. But then I put it in normal mode and it would come up as like 13%, and people were like, dude, there's no way you're 13%. So I wanted to get a DEXA scan done. There was one when I was down in Florida, but it was COVID, so I couldn't go. So now I'm like, next time I go, I just want to get this scan done to get a better sense of like what I actually am. And I know some people that do the caliper testing, but I mean, that's like kind of user error, like you could pinch incorrectly but I'd be curious. And and I got to get a good number before I get too old and I just get like puffy from being 40 plus.
Yeah. No, but yeah, I think the scale it gives you never
It's
the results that that you that it is. I
mhm.
think maybe you can do it with
Caliper.
yeah,
Yeah.
like that, and I think that works better than the scale.
Mhm.
But yeah, for sure, body scan is the best way to find it. I think so. I think.
What's do you have any race routines that help you get in, not I don't want to say get in the zone, but like you wake up morning of a big race, what are you doing? What are you thinking? How are you approaching this?
Uh, yeah, I wake up and then sometimes I do some small exercise,
Tell me
some
about those.
priming, yeah,
Yeah.
some primings, some stretch, so yeah, some stretch exercise
Like
or
glute activation and
yeah, some small activation sometimes. It depends which race and how long is it a stage race or not, and
how would that differ? What would make you, how do you approach those differently?
yeah, because it's also if you do it uh, every day, it's good, but it's also mentality, and you need to have also the rest. Like if you do it every morning, um I do it a lot of the most of the time I do it. But sometimes if I feel my body is not ready to do it, then I say sometimes I will skip it and I do only stretching or something. Uh,
I needed
just
to hear that.
yeah,
Because I had an issue with my it's called the QL here, it quadratus lumborum. Anyways, it's also my glute medius. And I was doing
yeah.
exercises and some mornings I was like, this feels so hard. And I was like, I think I just need to take a rest. Like you can't do it every single day. It just gets also like you said, mentally it's hard. I don't know. But I'm glad to hear you say that.
Yeah, that's what I feel about what I feel about the last times that I do it. It's also my first year that I do it before a race.
Mm,
Uh, Before and I was only doing stretching
okay.
before just before the race, but uh, but no, I sometimes I do priming
Mm.
and yeah, that's all
So
I make all.
what would be a priming exercise? Like what's one that you would do?
Yeah, it's a little bit like stability, the but not so long, not so much, and just to activate
Okay.
your muscles. And I make always a crows. I think like
Okay.
yeah, I make always before every race because I think it helps, and I believe also a little bit in that. Um, if I think I never forget it in any race, like to do that.
Yeah.
And I think if I don't do it, I have that time not a lot of luck, and yeah, I don't know. I think somebody say yeah, what you do it don't work, but for me it work, and I
Yeah.
think some small things I do it, and if it not work or it works, I do it, and yeah, I feel me comfortable. It's yeah,
Good.
it's good for me.
What are you eating the night before a big classics race and in the morning?
In the evening before, yeah, I try to load me with carbs,
Mm-hmm.
like some pasta or with a small chicken or something like that, bread,
Mm-hmm.
uh, some rice cakes or something small.
Do you eat more than normal if you're carbing up or carb loading, or are you eating just until you're full, or what's your gauge of how much to eat?
Uh, the day before the race, it also depends which race this is hard climbs or not. But the most of the times I'm not so looking how much I eat. I eat enough. I try to eat not that I feel me like I'm dead, but I eat, like, the maximum that I can eat.
Okay.
And
Till you're full.
and to I'm
Okay.
full. And also in the morning I eat some Kellogg's or some muesli or stuff like that with some honey and peanut butter, banana, sometimes also bread or eggs if it's there, and sometimes also a pancake, for mentally. Mentally, it helps me. Like, if I have not the best day at that day, if I feel me like boring, then I say, okay, I will take some pancakes or wine pancake, and it helps me sometimes.
I love how excited you just got about thinking about pancakes. It was like put a huge smile on your face.
Yeah. It's like, you learn it, when you go to the American, you know. American pancakes, there is a hype,
Yeah.
or like, so then my teammates from Axion, pancakes, or like cookies, American cookies with ice.
Icing? Like,
Like, that was like, it was like a burger, and it was a cookie on the top and a cookie down, and in the middle it was
ice
like
cream.
ice. Yeah,
Yeah.
ice cream. And oh, that was an amazing experience.
Yes. Way to go, America.
Yeah, I
Like,
will be coming back. Just for the American cookies with ice cream.
dude, that is so funny. Oh my God. All right, one last question for you. Do you have any good habits or bad habits that you think positively or negatively affect your training and racing?
um, the worst habit, I think, maybe it's that sometimes I didn't believe in myself that I need to be.
Mm-hmm.
Like, it's, I think, every rider have it a little bit, maybe, because most of the time you're alone. You need to work for yourself and to finding the good way, and then you don't know if I have a good shape, if I have a bad shape. And it's helped me sometimes with my power on training, that I see, I can push that watts. Maybe last time, if I do that, I had good results. So sometimes I'm thinking about that. But yeah, it's sometimes it's hard, but it's okay. And my best habit, uh, I think I will be improve myself every time, and I'm I'm always looking to find where I can have a better level than before, and I'm working with that.
That's awesome, man. I think it's
Uh,
really, it's
yeah,
really,
we say no
it's
problem.
it's interesting because there's, a lot of athletes that come into cycling in the US. We come into the sport later and don't believe in ourselves. And I always tell people, like, you've got to allow yourself to surprise yourself of what you're going to accomplish. And it's awesome to hear somebody at your level of thinking of that. Like, you don't always believe that you're going to be the strongest and you're the best, but it's something you'll work on. And it kind of goes back, though. I think if you're working on mindset and you're thinking of it, like, that goes hand in hand with that piece, and you'll definitely find success from that. So, dude, this was awesome, man. I really appreciate you taking the time to chat, and this will be super inspiring to people your age, but also to, like, every cyclist just trying to get a little bit better, get to their next level, whether it's doing their first Grand Fondo or going after a classics pro race like a badass like you are. So thank you so much for doing this, and hopefully we get to have a coffee and cross paths on the bike one day.
Yeah, that will be nice, and thank you to be here. It was amazing experience
Are you
with
on
talking
Instagram?
about you.
Are you on Instagram?
Yeah, I have Instagram. Yeah.
And what's your name on there? Is it just your first and last name?
Yeah, just my first and last name together.
Awesome. I'll tag you in this, and you'll probably might get a couple messages from people with a thanks for coming on and sharing your experience. And yeah, dude, thanks again. Best of luck with the races, and I can't wait to see where you go in the next couple of years.
Oh, thank you very much.
Have a great
And
rest of the day.
yeah, have a good day and see you later.
All right, sounds good, Jens. Take care.
Okay, yeah,
Bye bye.
you.